Tonight in Pittsburgh, PA, Coach K leads the #4 Duke Blue Devils into his final ACC road game as his extraordinary career hits the home stretch. The Blue Devils rolling at the right time at 25-4. Tonight taking on the Pitt Panthers inside the Peterson Events Center. We check the standings in the ACC. Here's what's on the line for Duke tonight. They win and they clinch the #1 seed in the upcoming ACC tournament and at least a share of the ACC regular season championship. Dave O'Brien alongside Corey Alexander. Thanks so much for joining us. Corey, bound to be plenty of emotion tonight. Lots of feelings between these two head coaches, Coach K and Jeff Capel, because Jeff, of course, played for Coach K, started for him for 4 years, and also coached alongside him for 7.
And also got a win against Coach K last year. And when you consider that, this Duke team is coming in knowing that they can lose in this building, but they're playing great basketball as of late. And Coach K, of course, with 200 road wins, 200 ACC road wins, is looking to get to 201.
Duke Blue Devils coming off an outstanding performance inside the Carrier Dome. These three guys just lit it up right away, right out of the gate.
Well, Duke has a spectacular front court. A.J. Griffin's shooting has been special for them, especially throughout the second half of ACC play. 5 3-pointers made in the first half alone against Syracuse on Saturday.
The familiar countenance of the greatest coach of all time. And looking for another victory here tonight on the road as Duke wins the opening tip. Glad you're with us here. Real special feel inside the arena this evening.
The Coach K effect is real. It even affected traffic earlier getting to the game.
Wendell Moore handling. Keels gets it back to him, and the first 3 on the way. And that's exactly how they got things going in the Carrier Dome on Saturday.
And it was the front court. Now it's the back court getting it started. Wendell Moore, Trevor Keels getting involved, and we showed the 3-headed monster. We didn't even talk about the 2 perimeter players who are probably also first-round picks this year.
Yeah, keep an eye on Gee and Hughley on the Pitt side. John Hughley wearing the number 23, 6'9", 280. He attracts a lot of fouls. He goes to the line a lot. Although Pitt coming in at 11 and 18. Here's Keels way downtown. He's going to bury that one, and Duke is off to the races again.
Did I mention the Duke backcourt? I believe we need to talk a little more about them. We talk all front court to start the game, but Keels and Wendell Moore Jr. are the guys getting it started here tonight.
Burton up top will knock that one down. And look at the Duke starting lineup tonight as they are on top 6-3 here at Pittsburgh. Keels, Moore, Banchero, Griffin, and Williams. Banchero coming off 21 points and 9 assists against Syracuse.
Yeah, he showed the full package against Syracuse, and now the jump shot picks up the foul on Hughley early. But Paolo Banchero is a matchup problem for anyone going up against him, and I like the matchup between he and Gee tonight, but the switch on the screen and roll puts him against Hughley. Hughley picking up the foul.
Banchero talking about making a subtle attitude adjustment, enjoying the game a little bit more, playing with more of a smile. He did that in the Dome.
He did. I had an opportunity to watch him live against Virginia. He looked like he was pressing a bit, but had a lot more fun on Saturday.
Well, Coach K, with that win Saturday, recorded his 200th ACC road victory. That's the record. 1,195 career wins. That's the record. The records go on and on and on, and he's just adding to them.
Well, I can remember Coach 1K, but we're going to see Coach 1.2K most likely before it's all said and done. And again, when you think about winning 1,200 games throughout a college basketball career, it's easy to say the GOAT.
Moore had time to shoot, decided not to. Griffin will, and left that one short. He doesn't miss many, and certainly does not miss many threes. He hits 49%, the freshman.
Yeah, he considered, and that's really what has changed this Duke team throughout the season. A.J. Griffin didn't start out being much of a factor for them.
Williams got up with a block.
And the Zoo wants a goaltending on that one. Be interesting to see if that got on the glass first, but no call on the floor. But going up against the ACC's leading shot blocker, Mark Williams, getting the benefit of the doubt.
And a finalist for National Defensive Player of the Year, leading the ACC in blocks. He's in the top 10 nationally. From the corner, and Keels staying hot. Trevor Kales, another gifted freshman, McDonald's All-American, nothing but net.
And Keels started out his season attacking the basket, 25 points for him against Kentucky. Only made 1 3-pointer in that game, but he's become a much better shooter as the season's gone along. And with A.J. Griffin, they give him dangerous perimeter players.
Burton in the paint, kicks it out. Odekale off the mark, and Moore picks off the rebound. Duke knocking off Syracuse 97-72, really a blowout in the Carrier Dome on Saturday. Here's Banchero and all net. And he's picking up where he left off.
Well, shooting travels apparently. In Pitt's last game, they were down 14-2 against Miami. And right now, 14-3. And it was at this point against Miami that Mo Gee really took over and had an impact on the game. We'll see if he can get that done down in this stretch.
Gee handing off here for Horton, who hits 42% beyond the three-point line. And another turnover. Banchero, Gee right behind him in a slam. And a timeout for the Pitt Panthers. They have no choice. 16-3. Duke firing on all cylinders again out of the gate.
But one of the things that Duke wants to do is exploit the turnover problems for Pittsburgh. Paolo Banchero out in the break. That's what you call exploiting big time.
ACC Network Basketball is presented by Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance. That was very emotional as the pregame ceremony was Jeff Capel presenting that steel fist, that Pittsburgh steel 3D replica of the fist, the 5 key fundamentals of a winning team that Coach K has made famous.
And made of Pittsburgh steel. And when you think about the relationship between these two, you consider Jeff Capel coming into Duke as a freshman, played in the Final Four. After that, you're talking about 2 losing seasons, not the best seasons for the Blue Devils, before returning back to glory in his senior year. So they have been on a roller coaster of emotions throughout their time together, as well as when Jeff was a coach with Coach K. And right now, you see those emotions coming out when they greet pregame.
Coach K recruited him to come to Duke. He was 17 years old, Jeff Capel was, when he committed to become a Duke Blue Devil.
Yeah, I'm still in my feelings about that a little bit. I lost a recruiting battle in that one where Jeff Capel II, of course, Jeff's father, brought him where he and Dennis Wolfe were assistant coaches together at Wake Forest. Wendell Moore up against the shot clock, unable to get the 3 to go down. And happy birthday to my guy Dennis Wolfe, by the way. Coach Wolfe's birthday today, and we talked earlier, talking a little bit about Jeff Capel II, and once I told him that we would be here with Jeff III today.
Pitt trying to cut in, 16-5. Another hot start for Duke. Hughley at the foul line and swishes in 2, averaging 15 points, 8 rebounds a game. There probably will be a spot for him somewhere on an all-ACC team, I would think.
I would believe so. I mean, you think about, he's had an extraordinary year, leads the ACC in free throw attempts, but also one of the leading scorers and rebounders. And he has really had a big-time season for the Panthers, been their bright spot throughout many of the losses.
Shot clock down to 7, the corner jumper and up over the top. So they'll go right back over to the Pitt Panthers. You're talking about recruiting, and I was chatting with Jeff Capel in his office before the game. He said for him, that's the thing that is underrated about Coach K. He said one of the greatest recruiters of all time, and when he got in the room, he wanted everybody who was important to that young man in his life in the room at the same time. And Jeff said he had a meeting out of the palm of his hand. That's just the way it was every single time.
Yeah, and again, when you consider the players that have played for Duke and the legacy that's going to be left behind, there are tremendous great players. But of course, not each and every one of those guys came in with that same reputation. So even though the recruiting piece of it was big, the development side of it was great as well. And again, that's why, in my opinion, Coach K is the GOAT, because he has satisfied every factor possible along the coaching line.
Coach fires, it won't drop, rebound tipped. Keels flips it up and drops it in. He's off to a really quick start.
And Trevor Keels, and he's had big games, 25 points and 11 rebounds for him at Clemson with no turnovers. And he's had huge games throughout this season. And more importantly, coming back off of that injury, the lower calf injury, which was super scary against Florida State.
John goes sprawling, but Pitt will retain. 13:49 to go here in the first half.
But what Keels does, as well as Wendell Moore Jr., they're two of the better perimeter defenders, and you get an opportunity to see that on that last possession, putting pressure on the basketball. And we talk with, I'm not sure what his title is. Is it coach in waiting, associate head coach, whichever one John Shire is? He talked about that today, and they know that this Pitt team turns the basketball over. He doesn't want the guys gambling. He said we have to have disciplined pressure, and we've seen that from the Blue Devils early.
Burton gives it up. Hughley on the block. Doubled up. Odekale got it off in time, but it didn't touch anything. And it's a shot clock violation. So the Blue Devils on top 18-7. Pitt losing to Miami a week ago on this floor in a game that was not close, 85-64. And right now 18 losses. John just outside the 3. Coach will swing for Banchero. Banchero drawing some contact there, did a good job to get Gee to commit defensively, and he fouled him.
Well, and the reason I like this matchup between these two is you see Banchero off the bounce, the step back, the pump fake, getting Gee in the air, is because you're talking about two NBA players. Mo Gee may not be a draft pick, but Mo Gee is going to play in the NBA. When you look at that size and his ability, he'll be an NBA player, a tremendous 3-and-D guy.
That's what Coach Kate said today. Monday we'll have the final 2 episodes of the tournament, a history of ACC men's basketball, episodes 9 and 10, covering 98 through 2020. Duke won 12 tournaments in that time. Monday night starting at 9 Eastern. Don't forget you can always catch past episodes on the ESPN app.
My favorite tournament moment will be featured in that when you consider Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, and the Duke Blue Devils winning the tournament in 2019. Still one of the best scenes I've seen in college basketball all time.
6 to get up a shot. Odekale. Jeffress. Shot clock down to 1. Did not get to the rim. Never touched the iron. Duke trying to run. And picked off, stolen away by Burton. And around the back. Moore got back quickly. Blocked from behind by Griffin. A.J. Griffin, a freshman, playing some defense. And that's going to be a traveling violation.
And after the turnover, Duke doing a great job getting back defensively, taking away the opportunity from Mo Gee. The nice find from Burton, but A.J. Griffin recovering, helping out a teammate, coming up with a block shot. Duke leads the ACC in block shots at 5.6 per game, but this is a very good defensive team. I think that's what gets overlooked when you think about all the firepower they have offensively. They lead the league in field goal percentage defense as well as 3-point field goal percentage defense. And so when you add that with the block shots, you've got the best defensive team in the ACC.
They're brutally tough to get a good 3-point shot against. Only 30% against them. The rest of college basketball. Gee leaning in, swatted away. More good defense. Theo John got up there.
At this point, Obi, I think we can say they're just tough to get a shot off against.
I'm not sure how Griffin got that shot off and banked it in. Crowd wanted to walk on it, but it's 22-7. And a very similar start to what Duke got off against the Syracuse Orange. Hughley underneath and taken away. Picked up by Joey Baker, and here come the Blue Devils again.
And in the year of the transfer portal, one of the most important transfers in college basketball has been Theo John. I don't think that what he does is often appreciated enough by outsiders, but I know it's appreciated by this team.
You know, the physique like that, he wasn't born, he was founded. Coming up on the 11-minute mark on the spin on the baseline. Burton will draw the foul. And Duke cooking again.
Yeah, it's been a great start for the Blue Devils from beyond the arc. 4 of their first 7. Wendell Moore Jr. getting involved in the action, as well as Trevor Keels. 2 threes for him, and Paolo Banchero chipping in on the 3-point party.
They got a chance to win it with a 3-man. They got a chance to win it.
Who will take the shot?
Will he make the bigger impact?
An incredible finish
here in Chapel Hill, freshman Austin Rivers.
Coach K's team's on the road. Duke was number 10, beating number 5 Carolina at the buzzer behind Austin Rivers.
200 ACC road wins. And at halftime, we're going to highlight a few of those special wins for Coach K. About a 2-3 minute montage put together by our guy, Alex Barmartino.
Yeah, it's
a great crew in the truck.
It's a terrific piece. Yeah, get a look at that. Hang with us at halftime. Hughley banging away. Jeffress outside the 3. Gee is actually their best three-point guy in terms of makes and also their top shot blocker. Just an idea of the array of his skills.
Yeah, we also have to mention Gee took a tough fall on that shooting hand, that right wrist, a week ago today. And fortunate to see him back playing. It definitely affected him coming back into the game in the second half against Miami. We'll see how his shooting touch is here tonight.
And of course, the Blue Devils with one more game to come in the regular season against Carolina on Saturday on ESPN. That'll be knocked down by Odekale. He's had some standout games at 25 against Virginia Tech, 23 against Wake Forest.
But Obi, that's a great sign. In games where Femi Odekale has made a three-pointer, he averages over 16 points per game. So that's a key nugget for them. When you think about, he gives them the opportunity, a much more confident score when he makes a three.
Roach got a good look. Can't hit that. Duke finishing up a 3-game road trip here tonight in Pittsburgh, and they're expecting, when they're all done counting, to have about 11,000 here tonight. And a foul near the Duke bench with 9:48 to go. This is the way it used to be on a regular basis here at the Pete.
And Obi, right now, Duke is trying to, for only the 3rd time in the illustrious history of Coach K, win 3 consecutive road games in succession. So when you think about that, they've only done that twice throughout his entire 42 years, where they played 3 games back to back to back on the road and won all 3.
Hughley swishes in a 2-pointer.
And you see Pitt now having settled in after a hot start by Duke, settled in a little bit. The nerves have calmed down, of course. You mentioned the crowd, and this is a big game for the Panthers, simply because they're not often getting these types of environments and stepping up and playing this level of competition. But Paolo Banchero has definitely brought his game on the road.
Well, he certainly has once again, and he's off to 12 points, 2 for 2 from three-point land to make it 25-12. I got one for you, and it's incredible to think, I'm not sure how this happened, that Mike Krzyzewski has not won an ACC Coach of the Year since the 99-2000 season. I mean, you're talking about 2 decades ago, more than that. How is that possible? As Jeffress launches, I mean, he's won over 600 games. He's won 3 national championships in that time.
And not to top your story, but how about the fact that he's never won an AP Coach of the Year? I think that's even more amazing.
I think the AP folks want to name the award after him, National Coach of the Year.
I think that's only right to do so. I mean, we have a Wooden Award. Why shouldn't we have a
and yet he's never been named the AP Coach of the Year.
There you go.
Incredible. Hughley gets another touch. He's settled for that jump shot. And Gee with the tip out of play. Duke will have the basketball with 8 minutes to go in the first half. Duke on top 25-12 at Pitt.
Armando Bacot, Player of the Year. And of course, I know that will come to a surprise as many. Alonnis Williams, in my opinion, has tailed off a bit as of late. Reese Beekman beats out Wendell Moore Jr. and Mark Williams for ACC Defensive Player of the Year. For a reason alone, those 2 guys cancel each other out. They battle out, both first-team All-ACC defenders. Darion Seabron, Most Improved, and my Coach of the Year, Mike Krzyzewski.
And that's not sentimental on your part.
Not sentimental at all. This is based upon the fact that we give it to Tony Bennett when he wins the ACC. We give it to Jim Larranaga and Leonard Hamilton when they win the ACC. Well, Duke right now is in the driver's seat to win the ACC, and Coach K still got it.
Gee rising up and got his hand on it. Man, does he get up quick, too. On the run, that's going to be a traveling violation by Collier. So they will give it back 25-14.
And when I tell you the Coach K still got it, you'll see he's a guy that does not stand for mistakes, etc. And right now you see him up coaching. You would never know if you watch his mannerisms that this is a gentleman that is stepping away from the game. He's more involved now than I've seen him throughout his entire career when you consider the on-court coaching and the involvement in all decisions on the court.
I also think he's enjoying it a great deal this final season and this amazing career. A little follow away by Williams, followed up, and the slam by Griffin. He was in the right spot.
Well, and I love the basketball IQ on that possession by Griffin because, of course, the Oakland Zoo is trying to fool him and let him know that the shot clock's going down. He makes the pass to Mark Williams, who gets a shot on the glass, but then Griffin tracking down the rebound and, of course, the finish.
I thought after Saturday, with the 6 teams in front of Duke in the poll all losing, Duke had a pretty good chance to jump to #1. It didn't happen. He did jump to #4.
I believe that should have been the case, as we see Williams with the shot off the front of the rim, but Griffin following it up and finishing it out. And when you look at this Duke team, it's not only about the fact that the top 6 lost, and they were 7. But right now, they're playing like a #1 team.
Yes.
You're talking about a 6-game winning streak overall, and games aren't even close the way that they're playing, but they're finally getting that continuity that Coach K was looking for early in the season.
Pitt with a second effort. Horton will lift. That missed ugly, but a whistle. That'll go against the Duke Blue Devils. Now the 1-2 seeds, according to our Joe Lunardi, as we eye the upcoming NCAA tournament. He's got Gonzaga, Baylor, Arizona, and Kansas as ones. Right now, Duke and #2 along with Purdue, Kentucky, and Auburn. What do you think they have to do to get to that top line?
Well, I believe they're going to have to win the ACC tournament to be able to get to that top line. But I think what is happening right now, because this has been what is considered a down year by most of the experts for the ACC, Duke is being punished based upon conference play. And again, but when you get Duke on a neutral court against anyone, and we've seen it against Kentucky, we've seen it against Gonzaga, they're just as good and have been better than everyone this year.
And what do your eyes tell you, too?
Oh, I mean, that's the eye test tells me that this is one of the best teams in the country, if not the best team in the country.
It's hard with all the college basketball you do and I do to think someone's playing better than Duke right now.
Well, especially when you consider the way they're shooting the basketball. You have to remember, you go back to the beginning of the season, when they beat Kentucky, they beat Gonzaga, they didn't have A.J. Griffin as a weapon there. And he is a tremendous weapon right now, as Jamarius Burton is, attacking the mid-range and making this a single-digit game for the Panthers, who are starting to get some energy in this building.
27-18. They're trying to do what Syracuse wanted to do on Saturday, get this big crowd behind them and create more energy. A foul. That'll be on Burton. Hughley coming back on, and so is Theo John. Well, this Saturday, a special edition of Nothing But Net with coverage of Coach K's final game at Cameron Indoor. The pregame show starting at 4:30. Then at 6 p.m. you'll get an alternate view of Carolina Duke from inside Cameron, as well as Coach K Cam. It's a unique and exclusive Nothing But Net Saturday right here on ACC Network. John will get a look. That won't fall.
And give the Panthers credit. After taking the initial punch in the mouth by the Blue Devils, they fought back. We can remember it was a 16-3 game to start this one off. Since then, Pittsburgh has gotten themselves together and started to make a run.
Gee with a 3. Around and out. 6'10" grad out of Staten Island, New York. As Coach K was talking about him during the Duke workout today on this floor, and he said he is absolutely going to the NBA.
Yeah, he believes it. I believe that he's an NBA player, a classic 3-and-D guy. As Trevor Keels attacks the paint, goes to the mid-range. But when you look at Gee and you see that this is a 5th year who is truly learning how to play the game in a different scenario for Pittsburgh and how successful he's been. But look at him stand beside the 19-year-old. And look at the size of the 19-year-old compared to the guy who's been in college for 5 years.
Burton swings it. Horton with a shot. Back of the iron. Hughley with a rebound. He averages 8 a game. Duke's doing very good work, though, on Gee. He's 0 for 5 shooting it here in the first half. 29-18 Duke.
And we talk about the star-studded lineup for the Blue Devils, and we go through the list. As Trevor Keels, who's been the guy for them thus far, the mid-range pull-up is good for #1. After getting down 16-3 early in this game, the Panthers have actually outscored the Blue Devils 15-13 as of late, and Jamarius Burton has been had a lot to do with that. 9 points for him, 4 for 5 from the field, and he's come out very aggressive on the offensive end of the floor. He leads the Panthers in double-figure games and has been their most consistent offensive performer during ACC play.
Yes, senior, and from North Carolina, from Charlotte.
And of course, you always want to play great when you play against the Blue Devils, when you play against the Tar Heels. And we talk about this Pitt team, their last win actually was in Chapel Hill over the Tar Heels. So you talk about Burton, and I'm sure this is a matchup he's been looking forward to as well.
You know that. Keels and Banchero, by the way, have scored 22 of the 29. And adding to that, another basket, a two-pointer by Keels, who's come out shooting.
Trev wanted to test your math. He wanted to see if you could add those two.
So that would be 24 and 31. Got it. Here's Gee. And slapped away. Actually, he lost it. He touched it last. So they've turned it over 6 times.
You see Gee attacking off the bounce. And actually loses that before he gets into his shot. But Theo John doing a great job coming over and helping. Banchero still in good position. But when you talk about this Blue Devil team, again, we know that their offense is great. But defensively, I think that's the difference for them this year, is they go out and oftentimes just shut people down. And of course, when you have players like Banchero who can make plays off the bounce, as well as defend guys off the bounce, that makes it even more significant.
Duke tonight bidding for their 26th win. And they can lock down the #1 seed in the upcoming ACC tournament in Brooklyn. Hughley dribbled down, got far underneath the basket, but drew contact. John Hughley at 6'9", 280. He can be a load for the Pitt Panthers. John with the foul. The next all-access ACC Live premieres on Thursday, featuring both the Virginia Tech wrestling team and the co-ed Notre Dame fencing team. You get an unprecedented look into the lives of student athletes, coaches, parents, and fans. Thursday, 8 o'clock Eastern, right here at ACC Network and the ESPN app. DJ Griffin will return for Duke. I thought you made a great point about Griffin and the impact, the way he's playing now and the way he is maturing. Just a freshman, looks like he's been playing for 3 years and is really one of the best shooters in the country. And the confidence he's growing makes Duke even more dangerous come NCAA tournament.
And more versatile. And when you think about, I mean, they can play in so many different ways. As Trevor Keels has gotten it going here, you look at his numbers already in the first half. 15 points, 6 for 7 from the field. And again, this is the way that Trevor Keels started off the season, scoring big, but he wasn't doing it from beyond the three-point arc.
You got coaches watching tonight, preparing for the ACC tournament. Maybe they're going to face Duke, and they're thinking, okay, it's Banchero, it might be Wendell Moore, it might be Mark Williams, Griffin. Okay, you guys are talking about Griffin. And now you've got Keels going off from maybe a 30-point night.
Yeah, we started the game off talking about the front court, and it was Wendell Moore Jr. and Trevor Keels who got it started, the backcourt players. And we haven't even talked about Jeremy Roach, who was the best player for Duke in the Virginia game.
Banchero going up strong. Gee with a foul. They didn't think so, but he'll get nailed for the personal with 1:36 before halftime. And they have a painter who's going to be painting at halftime. He's going to try to put the whole thing together during the game, and it's going to be a portrait of Coach K shaking the hand of Jeff Capel, which was done, you know, about 45 minutes ago, that particular moment. So that's another gift for Coach K that he'll get after the game at some point.
I was going to ask, does Coach Capel get that, or Coach K get
Coach
that?
K gets that.
Jeff might take that home.
he wants the copy, no question. Banchero 76% at the line, and in and out. Now Pittsburgh without a field goal for almost 4 minutes.
You know, we talk about matchups to look forward to. The matchup with Hughley and Theo John, you want to talk about two guys that like to get after it and play physical. You're seeing it right now, the big screen by John getting the mismatch. He's got to get the basketball when he's got Griffin on his back.
Gets a lot of attention underneath that iron, and a travel. on Hughley. So Duke buckling down on the defensive end once again on Big John. He's trying to get to the foul line every time down. He ranks in the top 20.
And you see Hughley with the spin and the extra step. Great job of Jeffrey Clark on the baseline right there, right on top of that call.
Moore pulls up, fires, and knocks it down.
And Obi, early in the year, we saw Wendell Moore Jr. scoring. He was more of a scorer at the time, and we mentioned A.J. Griffin wasn't much of a factor. We've seen Wendell become much more of a playmaker and, more importantly, a lockdown perimeter defender as this season has gone along. Not scoring as much, but still just as effective in helping his team win.
Burton sneaking inside, going to battle there against Theo John, and a tie-up on the play.
We get a little extracurriculars.
Yeah. Whistle as well.
Yeah, my guy Ron Gruber not scared though, getting right in the middle of the mix, making sure nothing goes down. As you see Theo John tying it up, taking the basketball away, and just like that, Ron Gruber. that contact was between Gruber and Theo John, but Gruber coming in to calm everything down.
20 seconds before the break. Hughley trying to get back around John. He'll commit the foul. Theo John with the personal. 16.7 showing.
And for all the Duke haters at home saying that Theo John bumped the referee, that was not the case. That was incidental contact between John and Ron Gruber. Both guys smiling and laughing it off afterwards.
But he just picked up his third foul.
Oh, there's been contact. He's made contact a lot here in this first half.
Some fight between Hughley and John, as you pointed out about 10 minutes ago. Keep your eye on that the rest of the way. But Duke has their biggest lead, 36-19. Odokali holding to the last shot. Into the paint. Long one on the way, and it will not fall at the horn. Off the mark by Jeffress. Welcome back to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Geico. And from the Peterson Event Center at halftime, moments away from the start of the second half, 36-19. Duke is rolling. They came out smoking. 6 out of 11 from three-point land. Here's a Ram first half stats. Points off turnovers, 11-2. And Coach K's team holding Pitt without a field goal the last 5.5 minutes.
Well, and that's the underrated part of this Duke team. They are very, very good defensively, can be great defensively during stretches, and we saw that for the last 5+ minutes of that first half. As you mentioned, holding Pitt scoreless and stretching the lead out to 17 at the half.
A victory for the Blue Devils. They will be the top seed in the upcoming ACC tournament. They earned at least a share of the ACC regular season championship. Notre Dame, by the way, plays Florida State tomorrow.
But Obi, Duke has not won an outright ACC championship since 2006. Oh, there we go, Big John.
John Hughley, that Big John with the stuff.
But when you consider the fact that Duke has won who knows how many ACC tournaments, 2 national championships since 2006, but yet not won an outright ACC championship. That really shows you the quality of the league as Mark Williams returns the favor.
He certainly did. Williams with the jam, the 7-1 sophomore, to make it 38-21. Femi Odokali. Gordon with a bounce. They want to go inside for Hughley again. And the reverse, a sweet shot for 2.
Hughley off balance, falling down, running into the leg of Trevor Keels. Keels limping it off, but not going to test it out, see if his offensive game is still there. Great job defensively by Burton.
Keels with a miss. Horton goes in strong. He tried for the tip, and it was on the cylinder, and he interfered with it.
John Hughley getting off to a great start here in the second half. The tip dunk to finish it off. And then when you think about going up against the ACC's best shot blocker, oftentimes you've got to go around them, not over top of them. Hughley doing a great job on the first 2 offensive possessions for the Panthers.
Banchero to the baseline, doubled up, and they foul him. Just getting started here in the second half. Duke getting their 26th win in 30 games. And finishing up a 3-game road trip and trying to win them all.
And again, that's really where they've been different. They've been better on the road this season than they have at home, and that's probably the easiest bucket Trevor Keels will get on the day, but he'll take it up to 17 points for him now. You see Keels a little bit gimpy coming back down the floor. Hughley ran into his leg, and you can see it's a noticeable limp.
We didn't have many fouls in the first half. It was actually a very clean half, but a little messy here in the second so far.
And you see Keels with a good screen, but it's always the screener who's open, and a great job right there. They forgot about Trevor Keels coming off. And you have to take away the inside. If you're guarding the inbounder, don't give up that look. Help your teammates out.
Burton had a nice first half for Pitt. Led them back at least for a while, and he sticks that one.
And Burton going up against one of the ACC's best defenders and getting a bucket there on Wendell Moore Jr. right now. And Wendell normally takes on the task of guarding the opponent's best offensive player and holding those players to 33% from the field, 25% from beyond the three-point arc.
Wendell Moore certainly had an all-ACC season. That rattles in for Paolo. 6'10" freshman from the great city of Seattle.
But you look at that 6'10", 250 pounds, and the ability to play off the bounce, and more importantly, the body control to be able to finish off that shot on balance. And again, this is a special talent. I'm not sure everyone in this league recognizes the fact that we're seeing greatness at such a young age.
Hughley for 2, and you're talking about Banchero, and you're talking about a guy who's off to the NBA in about 5 minutes, but also somebody who has, I think, shifted his attitude a little bit. We talked about it a little bit in the first half. He talked about it after the Syracuse game the other day. And he's a guy the coaches on the Duke side say puts a lot of pressure on himself. And Duke will have the ball here with 16:50 to go.
He absolutely does. And when you think about Banchero, you look, I mean, going left, the step back off of the right foot across his body to square the shoulders and finish it off. And again, at 6'10", 250, I mean, you know, there are guards that can't do that. And you're talking about with that type of size, and you see his ability to handle the basketball. Duke may be the only team in the ACC running 4 or 5 pick and rolls with he and Williams.
Guess who's showing up in the second half too? Trevor Keels buries another one. He's having a great night with 20 already.
And I'm going to go as far as to say I think the leg is okay for Trev right now. And especially,
looks all right.
It makes you feel so much better when you start making shots.
Dr. Alexander has shown up too. Here's Griffin across midcourt. Banchero, and Duke will set it up, leading 45-27. They've gotten very comfortable here early in the second half. Banchero going hard on Gee, and that is an offensive foul. Mohamed Ogee hitting the deck. Exactly 16 minutes to go. 45-27 Duke. Duke pressing here in the backcourt. This is their biggest lead. Pitt's not getting to the foul line either, which is really the only way they're going to have any success in a night like tonight. They do get it underneath for Hughley, but they've only attempted 2 foul shots.
Well, and when you think about that possession alone against the usual defender, Hughley would get contact, but because Mark Williams is such a great shot blocker, he doesn't have to contact it. He can try to meet him up top. Speaking of great, Trevor Keels is having not just a good night now, a great night.
So, I mean, to this point in the season, maybe you look at the Clemson game where he went off for 25, 11 rebounds, and did not turn the ball over. But he's on the pace to have a better night tonight.
He really is. And again, that was on the comeback. You have to think he led Duke in scoring in their first game against Kentucky this year. 25 points for him in that one as well. So Keels has been spectacular, but the Clemson game was after coming back from injury. Missed 3 games in the middle of the season. So coming back from injury, I believe that got his confidence back.
Odukali, Hughley. way downtown, and a jumper on target by Horton, who was away from the team for about 3 months after an arrest on assault charges that were dropped and then reinstated, and then they negotiated a plea. Down the lane, swooping in is Wendell Moore for 2.
And again, Pitt put in a predicament as Wendell Moore gets downhill. Who do you leave? Do you leave Griffin? Do you leave Banchero? Do you leave Keels? So the middle opens up because it's John setting the screen. It's no one to help off of.
Burton taking a tumble, but there is a whistle. They'll get John for the foul. If that's the case, that'll be number 4. 14:38 to go. Thursday night, 10 p.m. The Nothing But Net crew will be in Greensboro to recap the second round of the ACC Women's Tournament. Full highlights and analysis. Nothing But Net right here in ACC Network. NC State is the #1 seed. First outright ACC regular season title in 32 years for NC State.
Wow, I'm thinking that goes back to Debbie Antonelli time. That has to be Debbie's day when they were winning ACC championships. And of course, congrats to Hall of Famer Debbie Antonelli.
One of our all-time favorites. She's going to be on the Coach K cast on ACC Network as well. He high up and drops in a pair.
And that's really the one guy who we were expecting to see get going for the Panthers, who hasn't really been able to get much done tonight. But of course, he's drawing a tough assignment as well, not only offensively but defensively.
He's going to block Banchero here, and it's be out of play off Duke.
And I like that matchup. We talked about Guy on the offensive end of the floor, going in, attacking the offensive board. You see him coming from the corner. Banchero not getting a body on Guy. And Guy with the putback, but then Guy also with the block shot on the other end of the floor against Banchero.
Pitt trying to creep a little bit closer. Under 14 minutes to go. Hughley got way underneath and draws the foul. He's so good at that.
He really is. At that time, going back into the body of Mark Williams, who does a great job really shielding off Hughley from a first attempt. But you see Hughley now jumping backwards into Williams, creating the contact and getting to that free throw line where he leads the ACC in free throw attempts.
And makes 72%. Sophomore from Cleveland. And another one coming.
And I normally give John Hughley's high school coach, Chet Mason, a shout out about right now, but Chet's in the stands. So he's coming over to me at halftime talking about he made the trip, and John getting it done here in the second half, off to a great start. And I'm not going to count that as a shout out.
That's not a Corey shout out?
Nope, it's not.
They do keep track of those in the truck. And Moore will draw the whistle with 13:39 to go.
Well, and the shout-outs normally come from people texting me during the game and watching this, that, and the other. So I'm not going to give a shout-out to Grant Hill, who keeps bothering me about what's going on right now in this action. but G's going to be in the building, I'm sure, on Saturday, as they're expecting 80-plus former players to be there for Coach K, and one of Coach K's favorite, Grant Hill, he talks about with so much endearment. So I'm sure G will be in the building on Saturday night.
Legendary player for Coach K. I can't imagine what is going to be going through Mike's mind on Saturday. I mean, it's going to be all about beating Carolina. I realize that, but it's the last time he's ever going to coach at Cameron Indoor.
But one thing that I will give him, and spent a lot of time with Coach K throughout this season, he stays in the moment. We talked with him pregame today, and we asked him about something that happened, a week ago, and he says, I kind of just put that in the past once it's over. So he's done a great job this season of staying in the moment and relishing every minute and every opportunity he's had this season.
Hughley short on the fall away. I think, it's one of the many reasons he's been incredibly successful. He has the ability to forget about yesterday. He said, I'm always looking ahead. Banchero. That's going to rattle in. Nice touch by the freshman. Well, I always hesitate to call him a freshman.
Yeah, Coach K talked to us about that as well. He's proud of this team for the way that they have played on the road, and when you consider it's an 18-year-old and a 19-year-old getting it done here tonight, when you think Keels is 18 years old, Banchero's 19, Wendell Moore is a young 20. So you think about this lineup and how these guys have performed on the road this season, 8-1 in ACC play, and another opportunity here to get Coach K's 201st ACC road win.
Roach with a determined drive for 2. Jeremy Roach, the sophomore, comes in averaging 8 points a game, makes it 55-37. Mohamed Ogi off for Hughley, who averages 15 points, 8 rebounds a game. Griffin's coming back on now for Duke. Hughley straight on, got it, give him a triple.
John Hughley expanding his game, stepping out, knocking down the 3, and he's had a great second half. Needs to get some of his teammates going with him as well.
Here's tonight's Bojangles' big bowl moment. Coach K entering the arena to cheers and applause here at Peterson Events Center, and lots of hugs, and a very, very special moment with a guy who's spent so much time with him as a player to coach. Jeff Capel, and the awards are continuing for Coach. I wonder where they're going to put all this stuff at the end of the year. He's going to need an entire brand new museum just for all of that.
Well, have you seen Coach K's office?
Yes, I have indeed.
No, does John Shire get that office moving forward?
We're going to have to ask John about that.
I think they should just make that part of the Hall of Fame museum as Coach K's office. John goes and stays in his office or goes somewhere different.
Griffin, tough drive and 1. A.J. Griffin going up, knocking in 2 and looking for 3. And we will have another break with 11:33 to go.
A.J. Griffin, not just a shooter, the ability to finish through contact as well. And the Blue Devils are rolling along. After that year, how much Jason had and how much love he had for Coach K over that move. And you're talking about a North Carolina grad with that much love for the Duke coach, but Coach K has done a tremendous amount of classy things throughout his lifetime. But to me, the classiest moment of all time was when he had Coach K on the bench during that time.
That was wonderful. 58-40 Duke. Hughley another touch, trying to get inside on Williams and Banchero. That's a tall task.
It really is, but Hughley has commanded that type of respect where Coach K has decided now he's going to double down on Hughley. He's had his way. Theo John with 4 fouls, and so right now he's not only getting buckets, but he's racking up fouls on the Blue Devils.
A crowd of 10 or 11,000 here. Gee jumping out for the block. Got his fingertips on it. Hughley races to the other end. Nicely done by Pitt. Probably their best moment tonight.
I tell you what, the block by Gee gets Pitt out in transition, but the great catch and finish by Hughley on the nice look-ahead pass.
So 10 or 11,000 at the Pete tonight. They had about 32,000 at Carrier Dome on Saturday for the last Duke game, and what, about 12,000 for the Virginia game before that one. So you add them up, that's about 55,000 fans that Duke has done a great job making sit on their hands.
And of course, you and I on the call for the last 2, but I actually went as a fan and watched the Virginia game, sat beside Terry Holland, and Coach K immediately coming out of the locker room, heads right across the court, gives Coach Holland a hug. And if you talk to Coach K, the one thing he'll talk about most in his ACC career as a head coach was the beating he took from Virginia early in his career. And he said that was life-changing and program-changing for the Blue Devils.
Banchero straight on with a triple to make it 61-42.
Speaking of program-changing, I think this gentleman is going to be program-changing for an NBA franchise very soon. And in my opinion, the #1 pick in the NBA draft.
Paolo Banchero, the 6'10" freshman. This is the biggest lead here for Duke. Cut into just a little bit by Femi Odekale, the 6'5" sophomore from Brooklyn, New York. And Brooklyn is where the upcoming ACC tournament is going to be held. And Duke, with a win tonight, can be the #1 seed in that tournament. They will lock it up.
And Odekale got off to a great start in his ACC career. 25 points for him in his debut versus Miami a year ago. And wondering what the ACC tournament debut will look like for A.J. Griffin, especially he continues to shoot the basketball like this.
49% from 3 coming into this game. Duke, by the way, 9 for 17 beyond that 3.
But look at the defense by Keels. You're talking about a guy who's had a great offensive start and still continues to get the job done defensively. And this is the difference with this Blue Devil team. You've got a bunch of 5-star players getting the job done on the defensive end of the floor. So not just about scoring, but stopping the opponent as well. Trevor Keels coming up with a great defensive play is rewarded on the other end at the free throw line.
Trevor to shoot 2, the McDonald's All-American from Clinton, Maryland. 3 fresh substitutes for the Pitt Panthers.
And it's still 5 McDonald's All-Americans on the floor for Duke, but one just subbed out of Mark Williams. Wendell Moore actually had an opportunity to play in his McDonald's All-American game, but none of the other guys have. COVID canceled the McDonald's game in 2020 and 2021, so the freshmen and sophomores at Duke never got a chance to actually play in their McDonald's game.
66-44. Williams to the bench. Coming up Saturday, of course, Carolina and Duke. Last meeting of the regular season at Cameron Indoor. And another turnover just thrown away by Horton. Griffin in the lane, sweetly done again. He's piling up the points once more.
But a smart play by A.J. Griffin. Everyone is running tight. There's really no passing lane. So instead of picking up a charge, goes to the mid-range to pull up and gets an easy bucket.
Duke on a 7-0 run. Horton trying to end it. And Duke will get it back. And another timeout, under 8. Duke in total command, 68-44 on the road. Duke 11-0 this season with both Keels and A.J. Griffin are in double figures. A look at tonight's Player Spotlight brought to you by Geico.
Well, and you think about these 2 freshmen coming in and on the road having this type of performance. Trevor Keels shooting the basketball extremely well, 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. But Paolo Banchero has rebounded his shooting stroke. We talked about what he did at Syracuse, and now 3 for 3 from beyond the 3-point arc, but playing with a different joy than we saw from him for a stretch throughout this season. And right now, this Blue Devil team is clicking on all cylinders with 2 freshmen, actually 3 freshmen when you include Griffin, powering the offense.
Griffin pitching in with 12, 68-44. Shot clock down to 10 now for Duke. Banchero with a drive, airborne. Baker will give it up. Here's Griffin, and short on that. Doesn't miss many there. Down the lane, and a block attempt by Banchero, but he'll commit the foul. As Yakuta will be headed to the line for 2. The 6'1" senior who has started a handful of games this season for Jeff Capel. And Monday we will have the final 2 episodes of the tournament. A history of ACC men's basketball, episodes 9 and 10. Covering 98 through 2020. Monday night starting 9 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget, you can always catch past episodes on the ESPN app.
And now, if I speak negatively about someone, is that considered a shout out? Because I always talk negatively about Randolph Childress when those promos show.
Right.
So is that considered a shout out?
I think it is.
It is?
Yep. And,
okay.
And I think you've mentioned his name about 5 times tonight, in either a positive or negative way.
Oh, they're all negative. It's all negative. It's never positive when I talk about him.
You two are great friends.
Oh,
by now we should know
brother.
that.
That's my brother, no question about it. My other brother, Grant Hill, name drop or shout out, whichever you call it. Now feels as though, oh, okay, Trevor.
Again.
Keep getting hot, Trevor. But Grant Hill feels as though he out-recruited Jeff Capel. I mean, out-recruited me for Jeff Capel. I gave Coach K that credit. I'm not giving G. Hill that credit. He didn't beat me on a recruiting visit. It was Coach K that got the job done.
And a foul on the floor with 6.5 to go. As Hughley will draw another one. He had 32 points against BC, 25 against Minnesota, 27 against the Citadel. There's the Corey shout out. You're up to 15.
I think that number is false. I believe that our producer and especially our director, Johnny, shout out in the truck, is not good at math. Let's start with that.
Keels, by the way, here's some pretty good math. 27 points, 10 of 14 shooting, and 5 out of 7 beyond the 3.
And I believe that is going to be a career high for Trevor Keels. At 27, he's had multiple 25-point games, but 27 is going to be a career high. And I don't think he's going to be slowing down as Joey Baker throws another 3 in the mix for the Blue Devils.
So under 6 minutes here at the Pete. Duke has made 11 out of 20. They were 15 for 32 at the three-point line in the Carrier Dome on Saturday.
And if this team can shoot as half this well as the postseason comes along, you're talking not only just dangerous.
Wendell Moore with the slam.
But again, the unselfishness. Banchero, of course, loves to score, but he loves to facilitate just as well. You see, giving the basketball up, giving Moore an opportunity to finish it off with the dunk.
Moore with 11. 5 different Duke Blue Devil players have hit a three-pointer. Hughley's trying to knock one down, but can't. And with 5 minutes to go, a complete runaway for Duke tonight on the road. So they're closing in on improving to 26-4 and 16-3 in the ACC, heading into that showdown with North Carolina on ESPN on Saturday. That rattles in for Paolo Banchero. Burton with a 2-pointer. Banchero, by the way, with 21 points for the second consecutive game. He had actually gone 8 straight games without breaking 20. And now back-to-back games he's done it.
And that was during that stretch where, you know, felt like he was pressing. He was putting a little too much pressure on himself. As Keels goes with the step back, Ithiel Horton up to the task on that one defensively. Gets the block shot. And Banchero will check out as Theo John returns to the game. And that may be the last we see of Paolo Banchero in this one.
Timeout. Just over 4. 78-49 the Blue Devils. 78-49 Duke. And another blowout for the Blue Devils. Keels and Banchero are 17 for 25 combined.
It's been a great offensive performance for the Blue Devils, but you have to also look at the 49 points that they've held the Panthers to with 4 minutes remaining as Jeremy Roach continues to pour on the offensive onslaught by the Blue Devils in this game.
That's what they're averaging, 80 points a game. But holding Pitt under 50 to this point, and another pick as Moore comes away with it. One of the top defenders you're going to find anywhere, really. He'll draw the foul, and Wendell headed for the line.
And I asked Wendell if he was ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and he said he believes so, because when I talked to him about Charlie Moore leading the league in steals, as well as Reese Beekman right there second, and Wendell says, well, I'm in the mix too. However, I have just as many shutdowns as anyone else. And of course, the famous shutdown is Dane Goodwin, who he held scoreless, who was, of course, one of the best players in the ACC.
Wendell Moore would get my vote. You and I both get a pick, which is great for us. We get to pick, you know, Player of the Year, Freshman of the Year, Coach of the Year. And you said earlier tonight, Coach K gets your vote for ACC Coach of the Year, an honor he has inexplicably failed to win since the 2000 season. I like his chances.
I do. I like his chances as well. And again, the only reason that Wendell Moore doesn't get my vote for Defensive Player of the Year is because he plays alongside another Defensive Player of the Year candidate in Mark Williams. I'm not sure which one of those guys, if one is more valuable defensively to this team than the other.
Santos with a nice save. 3.5 to play here at the Pete. Baker got hit in the mouth. Horton will miss the shot. John with the rebound. Duke right now ranked number 4 in the country. They jumped up 3 slots. Many believe they should have gone a lot higher than that after all the upsets, all the losses. Ranked teams in front of them in the top 7. Duke was number 7.
Is that my name now, Minnie?
And the slam by Gee. He's fun to watch.
He really is. I'm a big fan of Mo Gee. Would love if we had him longer in the ACC. Of course, a grad transfer coming in from Stony Brook, but I think that his basketball career is going to continue for a very long time, and he's benefit from being here with Jeff Capel in this program.
He's an exciting player. Good to see that he bounced back from that hand injury. You and I were here in the Miami game. He took a scary fall. We thought, boy, he might have really damaged that hand, but he got back into the game later and was able to get some minutes. 82 to 51. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Duke with great balance. Keels with 27. Banchero 21. Moore with 13. Griffin has a dozen. 2:37 to play. Coming up, a day of K on Saturday. College game day. Gets it all started at 10 a.m. Nothing but net. Sonic Blockbuster at 6. Nothing but net on the post-game show as well. All the coverage on ESPN and the ACC network.
And the Coach K curtain call, Debbie Antonelli, my guy WD, a.k.a. Little Woody, West Durham, on the call as well. So I need my shout-out counter to come back up. I don't know where we are right now.
Oh, you're well into the 30s by now. This is a record for my man CA here tonight. You've outdone yourself. Well, absolutely outdone yourself.
In that case, I got to give a shout out to the First Lady, Mama Kate. We've talked about Jeff Capel II. We've talked about Jason. And, of course, Jeff Capel III. Mama Kate, I love you. Hope you're doing well. But Mama Kate definitely has to get a shout out. That's probably my best shout out of the night.
I would agree. Mama Kate, by the way, number 23 on your top 25 countdown. Coach in the paint. And a battle on the baseline. Bates Jones fighting for that, but out off him. Michael Savarino into the game now for Coach K. Gets his grandson in.
Okay, so that's my guy. You know Savarino's my guy, but this is not a shout out.
Does not count as a shout out because
does not.
He's in uniform in the game.
There we go. Hung out with Mike actually at the hotel earlier today. Walked over to Dunkin' Donuts.
He's a big fan of your work, you know.
It's my guy, man. I'm telling you. He's the first one in the gym for shoot-arounds, getting up shots, preparing himself for this moment.
Well, Coach K about to win his 1,196th game.
You know what's so crazy? Coach K's grandson wears John Shire's number. See, you think about that. I mean, was Shire his favorite guy? Michael won't be able to play for Coach Shire, I believe. I think this is it for Michael. He'll be honored on senior night. Pull up, Mike.
Coming up in the final minute of play, Blue Devils with another very quick start and just rolled from there. They were never in any serious trouble. Not for a minute. Very much like the Syracuse game when they came out firing and just didn't miss. They were 11 out of their first 10 of their first 11 in that one, and 7 out of their first 8 from 3, and this was similar. .3 to go. By the way, a shout out for Nolan Smith, assistant for the Duke Blue Devils. A little food poisoning, unable to get to the arena today, and hopefully Nolan's feeling a lot better.
Little bro, hope you're feeling better. And again, being that I didn't say his name, it doesn't count as a shout out. You did.
It's an OB shout out. I've got, you're dwarfing me. I've got one over here. Trevor Keels with a big night. He was the unquestioned star. 86 and counting. Baker with a fall away. So Duke to put a 26th victory into the win column. Collier with a spin underneath. And a 16th ACC win. Now 16-3 in conference play. And that will be the final score, 86-56. Duke will clinch the #1 seed in the ACC tournament and at least a share of the ACC championship.
And the Blue Devils, in my opinion, playing as well as anyone nationally and looking like a dangerous team as we hit the first day of March.
Duke now 26-4. Now we'll see what happens tomorrow when Notre Dame takes on Florida State. And then, of course, Saturday, a full day celebrating this incredible career of the winningest coach of all time and one of the great sports careers in history anywhere. Trevor Keels, the unquestioned star of this one with 27 points. Man, did he come out hot.
And efficient, 10 for 15 from the field, 5 for 8 from beyond the three-point arc. Getting it done in all facets of the game, and not just offensively, defensively showing up as well, getting the job done, continuing with that disciplined pressure that John Shire talked to us about pre-game. And Trevor Keels, who was a star among stars here on the night.
The freshman on fire from the very first minutes and leading Duke to a resounding victory, 86-56. Trevor Keels, 27 points, a career high. Trevor, congratulations. Outstanding game. Was this what you envisioned this afternoon? We were thinking about how you were going to get out of the gate against Pitt tonight?
Yeah. I know I had to come out, with intensity. Coach told us, we win this game, we clinch first place. So, I had to come out all out. My guys, captains, Wendell, Joey pushed me today. We knew we had to get this win to get that first place and hand up a banner.
And Trev, early in this season, when you were struggling from beyond the three-point arc, I made a comment and said that you would have games where you would go out and knock down 4 and 5 three-pointers. What did you do throughout the year and even throughout your injury to get to the point now to where you're shooting the ball so consistently?
All of it was confidence. Being in high school, just I was known for my three-pointers. So coming here, I started off struggling. You hear all the noise, but it's just the groundwork. Coach Shire put in work with him. Shooting with AJ shoot 50%. Me and him get a lot of shots after practice, before practice. So it's a lot of reps, it's a lot of groundwork.
Well, I thank you for making me look good and making it look like I know what I'm talking about. And you look at this team, you guys are so dangerous moving forward. Playing this way, when you go back and you think about Kentucky and Gonzaga, are you a better team now than you were then?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we're a way better team. I think our chemistry is unbelievable now. Guys stepping up, I'm stepping up. Our defense is unbelievable. You got Big Mark protecting the paint. You got P. I think we got all the pieces to win the championship, win ACC first, handle UNC Saturday, and then I think we can win it all.
Trevor, great night. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Trevor Keels, 27, a career high for the freshman. And Duke with a big-time victory here in Pittsburgh tonight. Our final thoughts when we come back to the Pete in a moment.